When it comes to living our purpose and living in alignment with the truth of the cause that's in our heart, we need to look at the reality of what it means to live that path. And we need to understand the importance of making that decision, the pain of not living that path, and what it really means to be walking in alignment with our truth. Let's dive in.
Inluminance specializes in developing sensory processing sensitivity, a natural high sensory intelligence present in 30% of the population, co-creating with the power of humanity to consciously evolve towards balance.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the podcast episode today with your host Willow McIntosh. I am the founder of Inluminance, the creator of the High Sensory Method, and here in this world to facilitate HSPs, to become facilitators, to align us with our purpose, to bring a service into the world, to bring a very powerful and profound perspective that we have to understand the deeper meaning of truth, to understand the deeper meaning of the context of the world, and how we are here to really support alignment with evolution towards harmony, balance, and peace. And that's what I would like to talk about today. When we consider the idea of actually living and working in alignment with our purpose, there are some myths that are important to address. And I want to talk about what it means to be living out of our purpose and what it means to be living in our purpose, and some of the awarenesses that really help us to manage this path and to be honest with ourselves about what this path really means. Before I was very honest with myself about my own purpose and the work that I was here to do, life was pretty weird. I was so haunted by this part of myself that wanted to come forwards and wanted to live from the truth of my heart. I wanted to be in service. I wanted to be making a difference. And all the time that I wasn't honest with myself about what that really meant, my experience of myself and the world around me was disconnected, and it was not in a place of empowerment. Now, coming into the shift that I made of being in alignment with my purpose and actually being honest with myself about what I really wanted to do meant several shifts. And they were shifts in my awareness. The most important shift was actually getting honest about what I truly cared about and the difference that I really wanted to make. And that for me was getting very honest with how I saw the world unfolding around me and how out of balance it felt for me at the leadership level, and how important it was for me to do everything that I could to activate and align HSPs that I knew that were here to make a difference. And that shift helped me to realize that I was doing what I'm here to do. In order for me to be able to pursue that work, I had to get back into relationship with my high sensory intelligence and my high sensory gifts. Now, when I say come back into relationship with those, that's because I hadn't been in relationship with them since I was a child. Coming into the awareness of what my abilities made possible came through facilitation of working with a trainer. And that is the work that I do now. I now train HSPs to be able to come into awareness of their gifts. And that takes a very specific style of facilitation that is a part of how my gift works. I know intuitively how to read truth of purpose and to feel and understand what high sensory intelligence means and how it operates in another person. And that gift is coming through me. I'm reading visual indicators and responding to intuitive knowing and feeling the energetic resonance in the person in front of me that helps me to map that truth in them so I can then reflect it and I can help them to take ownership of it and begin to walk their path of being in alignment with their truth and purpose. Now, that ability only truly came into existence when I started practicing it. Before that, I was just getting super excited about the awareness that now I could sense and feel this ability, and that it was matching to how I was reading energy in the world. And when I started to practice it, that's when the awareness started to happen. That's when I started to come into ownership of my ability, and I started to be in alignment with my cause and my purpose in the world. And that was one of the greatest breakthroughs in my life that I have ever experienced. The feeling of not being in my purpose beforehand was a stark difference in the relationship with myself. It meant that beforehand I was living in my head and I was living in a very painful experience of self-rejection through trying to live through an identity that was not mine. I was living through a set of false beliefs, living from a place of doubt, a lack of self-esteem, a lack of confidence, and really trying to live through this kind of grin that I had on my face all the time, hoping that I was going to appease the people around me and hoping that I was going to somehow get acceptance and find belonging and validation through this kind of insane grin that I had on my face, pretending all was well when inside I was dying. The shift into getting honest about my truth and getting honest about my purpose and having the courage to get the support to understand how my gifts work meant that I had to shift into the truth of myself. It meant engaging with my body again. It meant coming into the experience of the energy in myself, the power in myself, and the truth of my soul level existence whilst being in a body. Now, that didn't happen overnight. However, what's crucial here is that when I decided to take that step and I decided to be in relationship with my ability and to be honest about the cause that was in my heart, a path of evolution opened up for me wherein I knew that every day that I was living in that purpose, in service to that purpose, I was on a path of true personal development. I was no longer trying to make a false life work and hoping that I could develop whilst in that path of evolution. I was now on a path where I was truthfully being who I was supposed to be in the world and doing what I was truly supposed to be. And from that day forward, every single bit of work that I've done has always been in the name of getting better at my work, at trying to extend my reach in the world, of truly being in relationship with Source, Universe, God, whatever the word is for you. The universe works for me. I was in partnership with the universe, with Source. And that meant that I was able to utilize this ability that I have to read the truth in others for the purposes of the universe. It's not my gift. It's a gift that's working through me. It's not going to go with me when I die. Well, that's for another conversation. But it's something that I have to embrace and utilize now. And I have to do my best to utilize it and honor this ability that I have that's trying to do its thing through me. So every day that I'm in service to that, and every day that I'm getting training with my own mentor, and I'm reading books, and I'm watching things on YouTube, and I'm deepening my meditation practice, and I'm deepening my experience of communion with Source when I'm in nature, all of that is in alignment with my true path. Whereas before, it was trying to be real in that path, but it was never truly engaged and aligned because I wasn't being honest about the work that I was here to do. And that for me was so painful, because doing my best to help and make a difference whilst I'm here is my greatest calling. I've always wanted to do that at any cost. And I know that you listening right now, you share a calling like this. Having trained hundreds of HSPs over the years now, I know that the calling in your heart is powerful, and you are here to make a difference. And it's very difficult for you to be on someone else's agenda. It's very difficult for you to be living a path that doesn't honor the cause that's in your heart, whatever that cause may be. So this is an invitation to recognize that when we do take that leap of faith, it means that we can honor this ability. It means that we can be on a path of true evolution, and life begins to take on a whole new form. Now, the other piece that I really want to talk about right now is the reality of stepping into our purpose. It doesn't mean that suddenly everything starts to become super easy and we no longer have to work hard and we no longer have to evolve. That is not the case. When we understand our purpose, when we own our purpose, when we meet how our high sensory gifts serve our purpose as an HSP, which actually makes it easier for us to reveal our purpose, because the way that we process more deeply is in service to what matters most to us. That reveals our purpose. That bit's actually a bit easier for us to reveal as an HSP. However, once we are aware of what it is, the work then begins. The universe tests us consistently to make sure that we really mean it and that we are fully committed. The more that we commit to that, the deeper our relationship becomes with ourselves energetically, the bigger, more established we become energetically, the more that we move into our bodies, the more we evolve at a spiritual level, the more we grow at a spiritual level. Because we're planted in the ground, in the right bit of ground that we should be, with the right roots in there, in the right garden, doing the right work. And that's what allows us to truly evolve. If we're not in the right garden, in other words, if we're not in the right purpose and we haven't got the right roots in the ground, we can't evolve at the level that we could be spiritually, because we're not in the truth of our purpose. In other words, we're not being honest about what we're really here to do. So it doesn't mean that everything stops and we've reached the end when we figure out our purpose. It means that we can then begin the work that we're truly meant to be doing, and we can begin the work of what true spiritual evolution and development really means for us at an individual level. Then we're in God's club, if you like. We're always in God's community. We're always in God's heart, of course. But when we're actually doing the work that the universe wants to do through us, then we're in the universe's club in a different way, because then we are doing what it knows it needs to do through us, and it can only do that through us individually. It can't do what it can do through you with anyone else. It doesn't matter how advanced they are, it doesn't matter how many lives they've lived. The universe can only channel the energy it needs to channel through you personally, because you are a unique signature energetically. So it means then that when we do get honest about our purpose and we start to want to walk that path, we have to be honest about what that really means. And we have to take baby steps in doing it. We have to create the right circumstances around us in order for our voice to be heard, in order for us to figure out who our ideal clients are, in order for us to be able to experience and build relationship with our ability. That shift has to be done in small steps. If we allow our mind to visualize what the whole shebang is going to be, it will terrify us, and our mind will persuade us why we shouldn't do that. And that's just normal for us all. So what we must do instead is just create little opportunities. Say to yourself, I'm just going to create one discovery call with my client. I'm going to do one session with them, and that's it. Then I'm going to see what happens after that. That's all I'm going to do. So whatever I need to do to create that circumstance, that's what I need to do. We also have to be very honest about what it means to be prosperous through our purpose. When we align with our purpose, it makes our earning potential unlimited. There are a multitude of ways that you can monetize your purpose, and you should and must monetize your purpose. I don't know if you have read the book Love Money, Money Loves You. That is probably the best example of how money operates in my experience. When I was under the impression that money was this evil medium in the world that was controlled by the 1% and caused misery for everybody, that caused enormous problems in my life. When I started to allow myself to be paid and rewarded as an exchange of love through the people that I work with, it helped me to realize what the energy is that's actually behind money. It is not evil by any stretch of the imagination. It is an opportunity, as you listen to this, to recognize that you can be prosperous through living through your purpose, and divine prosperity is your birthright. If we're blocking money coming to us, it is for a multitude of reasons that have to be worked through at a personal level. Now, when you're living your purpose, whatever is blocking money coming to you has to be addressed. You can't get away from it. You have to understand all of the false beliefs and anything that is blocking you from living your truth. And when you're in the arena of working with your purpose, that is the fast track way to undoing anything that's in your way, because you have to live. And when you're all in and committed, which we have to be when we truly live in alignment with meaningful work and what meaningful work really means for us, it means that we have got to be on the path of figuring out what's in the way, because there's no turning back. Once you're all in and you're committed and you're doing it, you'll see how the universe supports you, and you'll see how it tests you in order to help you to grow and evolve in the name of the people that you're here to solve, in the name of the people that you're here to serve and the problem that you're here to solve for them. That's what the universe wants you to do. It wants you to solve a problem that's happening in the world, to raise frequency, to raise vibration, to bring us back to harmony and peace. The universe is on a mission to do that. You can see that through the history of evolution. It wants us to rectify an imbalance that only we see in the way that we see through our perspective, through our profound perspective as an HSP. So this is a beautiful and wonderful gift that we've been given, that we are an expert in a very particular niche of life, that we do have a natural competence in a natural area of life. And the universe wants us to be living that channel. It wants us to be doing this work. And it means then that we are truly in partnership with the universe. It means that we're truly in partnership with the truth of ourselves. And it's much better to be in the challenge of living our purpose rather than being in the challenge of not. When we're living the challenge of not, it's very painful. We know at a soul level that we are supposed to be living in our truth. We know we're supposed to be supporting a cause. It's very painful not to be in that truth and reality, and it's very painful to be living a false identity. So with all of this said, my greatest recommendation is that you get the support that you need to take this step. And if you're listening to this from inside the Inluminance community, the Inluminance community was founded on the principle that we as HSPs are here to bring very important work and shifts into the world. We are dearly needed to bring peace and balance. We have an ability to read and see how the world operates at a deeper level. We understand the natural laws that it rides on. We see through what is not real. We see through what is not serving the greater truth of the world. The Inluminance community is all about supporting you to come into the experience of your abilities, to come into the experience of your truth, so you can start to honor your abilities, your purpose, so you can start to make a difference in your community, in your family, in your arena of life. And soon we will have these new areas in the community that are really going to support you to get into that conversation, to meet other people that have this like-minded skill set that you have, so you can get the support that you need, so you can start to be in belonging, both with those that truly see you and acknowledge you, and within the belonging within yourself. So this is, of course, being recorded on the date that it's being recorded. You may be listening to this many years down the line after it was created. Whether you are listening to it now, as in the date that it was published, or whether you are listening to it later down the line, please take the steps that you need to get into community among other HSPs. Please take the step to come and check out and just look at what we are building and creating in the Inluminance community to help you make this shift into your truth, into your purpose, into meaningful work, so you can start to be who you are and start to share the beauty and the power of who you are in a world that desperately needs you. You are also most welcome to book a call, a discovery call, where I can meet you and I can begin to help you to understand these aspects of you. It is always my pleasure to meet as many HSPs as I can. It is my purpose to speak with HSPs and help them understand the gift of who they are. You don't have to have anything prepared for the call. You don't have to come and say anything impressive. All you need to do is turn up with a commitment in your heart to want to be doing the work that you are born to be doing. Even if you don't know what that is right now, but you have the courage to want to make the change, to want to make the shift, then I would love to meet you. I would love to speak with you, and I would love to support you. There we are. So thank you so much for being with me here today. I am, as I say, here in the community to answer questions and to be here for you. Have a look in the links beneath this video if you're watching it on YouTube for other ways that we can support you. And whatever you do, please remember to be true to your heart and find that courage to take those steps into the arena of work that truly matters to you. It will be the path for you that will change everything. See you next time.